Hey guys, John Murray. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk a pretty simple, basic question, and it's one I get all the time. I've taught bass fishing classes for 20 years back in the day, and so one of the biggest questions is I need to set up a spinning rod for bass fishing. How do you do it? What do you need? And basically we're just going to go through the essence of what I like in a bass fishing spinning rod. And right now there's so many styles, so many lengths, so many actions. I'm going to try to simplify it for you to get one that you could just set up for a lot of different applications. And that's the way I like to do it. I really right now carry one type of a rod for probably 80% of my spinning rod applications. And I might have a couple others just for some specialty techniques, but overall one's going to cover it all. And first of all, I'm going to start with six. These are both 6-scale rod and reels. They're great rods and reels. And the first one is the reel. It's going to be a 5-2-to-1 2000 size dreadnought. Now I like a little smaller reel now. It's lighter, compact, got plenty of power. I always used the big 4000 or 3000 reels just because of the power they had and stuff. But these new reels are so solid and so strong. If you don't want the big weight, extra weight of the bigger reels, go to the smaller size. So I use a 2000 size, 5-3-to-1, slower retrieve. They make a 7-2-to-1. I'm just used to this 5-3-to-1, plenty of line pickup for me. Far as rods, I'm using the Scythe series. It's a pretty high-end series that 6-scale makes, but it's very light, very sensitive, and it's perfect for what I like to do. Use a split grip. A lot of this is going to be personal preference and also what you want to spend on a rod and reel. But the actions should be the biggest thing. And the first thing that I notice when I like spinning reels anymore is I like a fast action rod. So basically I like a lot of tip bend, not a whole parabolic. You see how that old rod's not bending? It's just the tip bend. And a lot of times guys drop shotting in some of the deeper water, they like that parabolic bend. That's not my deal right now. I like the fast tip because I feel like I get a better set, a better hookup ratio. So the fast action on this rod, this is a 7-2 Scythe series 6-scale rod. And the key to that is just a good all-around rod. I've used a lot of 7-6 rods over my career. I've used 7-foot rods. Usually the smallest I'll use is a 7-foot spinning rod, but 7-2 seems to be a good mix. Keeps me doing a lot of different things. Line, so much has changed since we've got to be able to use braid on these spools. And I always use a braid. Now, right now, this is a Berkeley Nanofill. This is sort of an old school braid, but I love it because it doesn't get the wind knots. It's super strong. This is 12-pound test, and it's just super fine diameter. I don't know, it's probably the diameter of a 6-pound fluorocarbon or something. But I like that. You can get the green, you can get the yellow, the high vis. A lot of the braids come in the white, so you can see them. As I get older, I'll probably, like the yellow or white better. But right now, the green is really a big thing. And 12-pound, 10-pound is what I use. Now, the key is once you use a braid, you better have a knot. You better have something you can tie a fluorocarbon leader onto. And what I'm using for fluorocarbon leader is an 8-pound or 10-pound fluorocarbon. And the distance of leader really depends on the clarity of the water. Now, this one's very short. This is like a 3-foot leader tied onto my fluorocarbon. And I like that because then the knot's not going through the guide when I'm casting it. I'm casting it and this knot is staying out of the guide. So it casts very far and very easily. The key to this is having a good knot. Now I'll tell you right now, if you can tie a FG knot or you can tie some of the double unis or anything, perfect, great, use them. My philosophy on knots, especially tying together, is it better be simple. It better be fast. I better be able to do it almost in the dark. Because so many times we're retying before it gets light or late at night before a tournament. And if you can't tie a knot in the dark, to me, it's not very good. So I can tie a surgeon's knot. Surgeon's knot is what I use. And it's a knot that red fishermen use. I mean, people that fish for a lot bigger fish than bass use all the time. And a surgeon's knot, look it up online. It's a very simple knot. We'll probably do something a little later on how to tie a surgeon's knot. But it's basically wrap 3 times. Twist both lines together, wrap 3 times, and tighten. And that's all it is. And I've never had a knot break because a fish break off or anything break off because of that knot. Now, I'm sure there's stronger ones. I'm not arguing that. This is easy and it's very efficient to use. And that's why I use the surgeon's knot. match the length of leader you want to what the water clarity is. Here on Watts Bar, some of these lakes in TVA, 2 or 3 foot leader is all I want. I want just a little distance between that line and the bait. But in some places, when I go to the north, maybe you go up to 1,000 Islands and you got 15, 20 foot visibility, then you might want a longer leader. You might want to go to 8 or 10 or 12 foot leader that you can actually reel into your line. So that is a big key with a small knot, like a surgeon's knot or an FG knot. Something gets small so you can reel it through and cast it without any problems. But the key to the whole system is this will do a lot of things. I have a little Ned rig tied onto this one, but I'll have a drop shot tied onto the same rod. I'll have a spy bait tied onto this same rod. I can throw, a shaky head. There's just so many things I can throw with a 7.2 medium heavy rod with a fast tip. So many things I can throw with that one rod, and that's what I have. I'll have 4 or 5 of those out. Doesn't matter what I got on them. I mean, I can throw them on it. Whereas if I had specialty rods, if I have a real light parabolic rod, I might use that for just certain techniques like tight lining or something. But it's not a rod that I want to have all the time on the deck. So to keep it simple, 2000 series 6 scale reel, Dreadnought, 7.2 medium heavy scythe rod, 6 scale rod, 12 pound braid, 10 pound leader. Keep it simple. Go fishing, set all your stuff on that, and that's my suggestion for you on spinning bass.